Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and so here we are, finally. Tomorrow is going to start the run-up to the 5-year anniversary celebration. We got the teaser trailer, official announcement last night, which gave us Volo's theme. Alright, let's hope, fingers still crossed, but whatever. Anyway, point being, we got ourselves Sygna Suit Nemona here, right? So Sygna Suit Nemona is going to be dropping for the run-up to the anniversary, Master Fair, Sync Pair, very, very interesting, very, very cool Sync Pair as well, Nemona's first outfit alt, right? She does have the damage challenge alt, but, that's besides the point. And it's with Screamtail, our first Paradox Pokemon as well, even surprisingly before Koraidon and Miraidon, right? Hey, we'll take it though, right? This could open up more, Paradox Pokemon, like Iron Jugulus, Iron Hands, Roaring Moon, Iron Valiant, this is Screamtail, all the other ones, right? So, I'm going to be very interested to see future Paradox Pokemon and how soon we'll be getting those. Anyway, so, whatever. Let's go ahead and take a look at Sygna Suit Nemona, and I do think this character is good. Without going too much into her kit, I think she does have a great kit with great possibilities, but I do think she is probably overshadowed, or at least on the same tier as older Master Fairs, to the point of where, like, obviously being new, it kind of, I'm not going to say downplays her a little bit, but, like, it can make her seem not as impressive, because obviously you expect the latest Master Fair to be the strongest, but in Nemona's case, I don't think that's accurate, but I do think she's still, like, really, really good, and there is legitimate reason to pull for her because she is still a very strong character. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at her stuff. So she's a sprint, she's a physical strike character with the Sprint EX roll, same roll combination as Sygna Suit Galadion. They do share the typing as well of being fairy. You can probably see a decent few parallels between them, just in this aspect, not really much else. She is a Master Fair again, as stated. She drops August 18th, leaves September 17th, giving you a little under a month to pull for her. Pretty much about a month, frankly. This is a little bit less time than usual. I'm pretty sure Galadion lasted like probably about 5 to 6 weeks, where Nemona only lasts about 4 weeks. So just keep this in mind, I guess. It's still a good amount of time to pull for her, though. It's not that bad. She's a fairy character, of course, by day arrival, Sygna Suit Champion. This is a whole grocery list of theme skills. Those are very good theme skills, by the way. Everyone, just like a little niche mention, every one of these theme skills, besides Sygna Suit, actually is on skill gear, right? So if you were trying to get skill gear for Nemona, it's actually going to be, I'm not going to say easy, right? But you've got a lot of options between the type, the region, and both trainer classes. So that's cool. Looking at her stats, she's got 684 health, 336 in both offenses, 132 defense, 150 special defense, and 341 speed. I'm not the greatest defenses, right? I'm going to say bad defenses, but, of course, investment does help that a little bit. With 630X, level 140, she does have 376 attack and special attack as well, 784 HP, 381 speed, 172 and 190 in the defensive stats. Those are better. Still not great, but better for sure. And of course, max investment with level 150 and the Sprint EX roll. 876 health, 414 in both offenses as well. 198 special defense, 178 physical defense, and 439 speed. Not bad stats overall. I would still say her defensive stats are a little low, and her attack stat is good. Just, obviously, it's probably not, well, no, it's good. I don't really want to make any other comments. I'd say that this is just a good offensive stat outright, because there's a lot of other Master Fairs that share a similarly low, quote-unquote, low offensive stat as opposed to other characters, but they more than make up for it in other ways. And I also do think Nemona is that case as well. Just, I would say that the defenses are mostly my issue. Speed's good, offenses are good, and the HP's fine. Just defenses, I think, could afford to be better, but whatever. So looking at her moves, she's got Booster Energy, which is a 2-use move that increases physical and special moves next by 1 stat rank. I would say this is probably going to be standard for every Paradox Pokemon. Maybe her Ancient Scream passive as well, which increases her physical moves next by 2 when when she uses Booster Energy or when an ally turns Weather Sunny. I would say that this is probably an aspect that's going to be similar across all Paradox Pokemon again, past Paradox Pokemon. Like, again, Screamtail. Why can I not think of the other ones? Like Brute Bonnet and, etc., right? Roaring Moon. All of them are probably going to share that same aspect of having Sun or Booster Energy or something like that. I would say all Paradox Pokemon will probably have Booster Energy, but of course the future ones will probably rely on Electric Terrain. That's just a theory, though, frankly. But I mean, it's a way to buff physical and special moves next, and again, probably standard across all Paradox Pokemon going forward. She's got her trainer move, our greatest battle, which raises her attack by 6 and speed by 4. Very solid trainer move, of course, maxing offenses in one go. Speed is good as well for gauge efficiency. Sunny Day, it makes the weather sunny. Again, I did mention the Ancient Screen passive a little bit out of order, but this, does give her physical moves next by 2 whenever an ally turns the weather sunny. So this does apply with that. Tons of physical moves next, clearly, right? So neat, right? Very, 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 very cool, I guess. And then, of course, Ferocious Play Rough. 4-gauge move, 150 minimum base power, hits all enemies. It's activated whenever she uses a move once, and it cannot be deactivated. The move never misses. It lowers the target's attack and defense by 1, and the power of this move is not lowered if there are multiple targets. So you got yourself an AoE 150 base power, 150 minimum base power move. That debuffs attack and defense as well. So that's already giving her good utility as well as pretty solid damage. So she's got good self-sufficiency. She's got herself the ability to buff physical moves next with booster energy and Sunny Day, as well as her good damaging option. So far, pretty standard, pretty good. Going to her passive skills, of course, she's got the Master Passive, Paldea Pride, which powers up physical attacks by up to 50% more Paldea characters you have on the team, and 31% physical damage reduction, the more Paldea characters you have on the team. This can synergize relatively well with Gita. Gita being a physical attacker, they both benefit off of those defensive debuffs that they both also can apply. And Gita has Flag Bearer, so they are not overlapping master passives, and they are actually buffing each other's master passives. That is what you get, an extra 15% per 50% move power up. So that's 35% power up from Nemona's moves, and that's a 10%. Which one is it? Powers up moves by 10%, reduces damage taken by that. Whatever it is, maximum power up to 30%, so up to 20%, so 20% power buff from Gita as well. So that's pretty good power buff, just for master passives alone. Anyway, yeah, as we mentioned, Ancient Scream increases physical moves next by 2 when using booster energy or an ally turns weather sunny. This does work again with booster energy and Sunny Day that Nemona has, but it also does work off of other characters who can set sun. When an ally turns weather sunny, and there's a ton of characters that can turn the weather sunny, like just take your pick. Mix Blue, I think Kabu's got his own max move, and that's the wrong Kabu anyway. We got the 2 field fire types here. We got Mix Blue, Wallace, Neo Champion Leaf can set sun I think twice. Sygna Morty, of course, being support, he can set sun. We got Blaine, sure. Adamin, Sygna Citysorol is probably the best one to know. Gordy, tons of Sunsetters, and that's not including Eggmons either. So a lot of Sunsetters that can just buff Nemona directly by giving her physical move next. Very nice. Energetic Student Council President reduces sync countdown by 1 when its Pokemon uses a status move, applies Paldea Circle to the ally field of play when the user's Pokemon uses a status move. Right, she does have the physical circle, so again, not only are you able to get that master passive, again, I'm thinking of like that Gita and Nemona combination, not only are you getting that good synergy between their master passives and them both being physical attackers benefiting off the same physical defense debuffs, but you're also now getting the Paldea Circle, which is basically just another master passive, right? Just a little bit temporary. That's pretty damn good. I really do like that. So we got ourselves the circle every time Sunny Day is used. I think it's when the Pokemon uses a status move. Booster Energy is a trainer move, so Sunny Day, every time that is used, it will also apply the Paldea Circle. It will only work on Nemona's Sunny Day, of course, right? It will not work on any other characters. That's very nice, though. And then Fruitful Attack, except in certain circumstances, successful attacks become crits, and charges the user gauge by 1 when its attack move hits. So this does give her better gauge efficiency as well, and of course guaranteed crits, right? So you don't have to buffer crit. She's got unconditional crits. You don't have to worry about not critting on the sync move. You don't have to worry about getting softened up 1, any of that stuff, or again buffing crit. So she's got unconditionally, which is very, very nice, and she does charge that gauge back, where you've got that +4 speed from her trainer move on top of that 1 gauge from using an attack move. This does give her a lot of very, very good gauge efficiency. So if you are running her on a slower team, or if you're running her on a budgeted team, like in a Legendary Gauntlet setting, you will be able to make better use of her, just because you, again, not have to worry much about gauge. Always having those gauge efficient abilities is good, at least somewhere, so I do like that quite a bit, especially because her move power is a little bit low for being 4 bars. Of course the effects are good, right? But just in terms of sheer power, 4 gauge for 150 power is a little bit on the lower side of things. So at least now you're kind of making up for it, making it kind of a 3 gauge move, but not really at the same time. So though, that is Nemona pretty much at 1 out of 5. I mean, if we want to go ahead and take a look at her grid, I don't think it's got anything at 1 out of 5. Right, yeah, it's just got Headstrong and Lift for the most part. That's fine. It's not really that big of a deal. But this is just her at 1 out of 5. I would say the only thing Nemona really lacks at 1 out of 5 is multipliers, which is pretty big, because her sync move does not have any multiplier, being a striker, nicely rampagey play rough. That's a very funny name. It does have the Sprint EX effect if you do give her the Sprint EX roll, so -3 sync countdown is nice and all that stuff, but for the most part, you're going to be dealing with a no damage sync, and you're going to be mostly relying upon physical moves next buffs in order to actually buff her damage, on top of the defense debuffs as well. I would say her way to enhance damage is still really good at 1 out of 5 if you partner her with Gita and Sygna Acerola specifically, because Acerola can buff a ton of physical moves next by herself, but also, of course, because she sets Sun, she will be giving Nemona even more physical moves next, and direct buffs and all of that stuff. So that team combination really has a lot of potential, even just at 1 out of 5. At least I would say Nemona's got a lot of explosive energy. So if you're trying to go for a shorter battle where you can just, wham, wham, hit the enemy hard and they pretty much just go down, right? Like, that's something you can work with if you're not trying to give much longevity in the battle. So that's Nemona at 1 out of 5. I do think she's got relatively good potential. Still decent damage, but again, I think she lacks multipliers for the most part. But other than that, I think she's good. Like she still has damage reduction abilities, gauge efficient abilities, decent enough utility with setting Sun and whatnot, and the Paldea Circle too. So I think that just all she lacks, being a striker, is pretty much damage. Okay, and recovery, and I guess defensive utility as well. That would be fair enough to mention. But just for being a striker, I would say she's not really missing too much. But yeah, of course, defensive utility would be a lot better to have, which, to be fair, she does have physical damage reduction, twice over with the Paldea Circle and the Paldea Pride Master passive, so maybe on the special side you're mostly worrying a little bit more. Anyway, looking at Nemona's grit, 2 out of 5, she gets Unflappable, Speeding Sun, 1 with the Sun, Turn Move NPR, Healing Sun, Player of Gauge Refresh, Turn Move Hit and Heal, Booster Energy NPR, and Circle Status Immunity. So Circle Status Immunity, Speeding Sun 2, and 1 with the Sun all do, I wouldn't say about the same thing, but they're all in probably Unflappable and Healing Sun. All abilities that do, a little bit of healing, a little bit of gauge management, and a little bit of immunity to status conditions and status changes. All very nice stuff. Depends on the stage you're fighting, though, of course, if you're going to want to pick it up. Healing Sun could be good for that gradual healing. Again, that's one thing she was missing, is that healing. Speeding Sun for a little bit more gauge, and then the Circle Status Immunity and the 1 with the Sun abilities, giving her immunity to status conditions and status changes, can be helpful, just, again, depending upon what you're fighting. So, not too shabby. I would say just not, I wouldn't say really too worth investing in, but hey, you can make it work. Play Rough Gauge Refresh 2, again, just a little bit more gauge efficiency on top of Speeding Sun. She does get Turn Move Hit and Heal. That's where the NPR may be getting a little bit more use, being able to max her speed with that as well, as again, that could be good in a Legendary Gauntlet setting. Again, Gradual Healing 2 combined with Healing Sun, overlapping those heals could be nice, give you a good recovery. Booster Energy NPR as well for more physical moves next buffs could give you quite a few good stacks of physical moves next. So if you want to maybe fish for NPRs on that, get a ton of physical moves next, power up Ferocious Play Rough, you realistically could, and it could pay off. But I would say for the most part, her 2 out of 5 is not too crazy. Just a few gauntlet abilities mostly. I would say outside of that, though, not really too worth looking at. 3 out of 5, she gets Sync Burst 1, Charging Sun 5, both Sync nodes, Ally sets, Weather Terrain Zone, physical moves next up 1, Haymaker, Infliction Freebie 9, Sunny Hit, Attack and Defense down 9, and then Circle Sync moves up 9, and Attack plus 20, sure, I guess. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. 3 out of 5. Anyway, so she gains a lot. These are where the good abilities come in. Charging Sun 5. 50% multiplier, immediately powering up your now 165 base power Play Rough by a very significant margin. Combine that with the Sunny Hit, Attack and Defense down 9, you'll be now pretty much doing the double debuffs. You already have the Attack and Defense down upon using the Buddy move here, but now if you are in Sun, you will also be able to debuff it by another stat rank, giving you -2 to each stat, making it just faster for you to debuff, and of course ramping up your damage just a little bit quicker. That is quite nice. I'm not going to say it's an amazing node to pick up, but I mean, for the most part, when it comes to if you're going to try and pick up the Sync move node here, you might have to just pick that up, because oh boy, not too much else here that's really worth looking at. Anyway, point being, she's got a multiplier now. Her damage is probably going to look quite a bit better. I'm not going to say it's going to look top 3 in the game or something like that, but still, like, that's definitely a multiplier that is going to be directly increasing her damage by a lot, and it's going to be effective. Because not only is she really going to be making usage of a 50% DPS multiplier on top of, like, Critical Strike 2 or Weathered Warrior as a lucky skill, whatever you may want to run, but you can also make a ton of usage off of the Physical Moves Next buff she's inevitably going to be getting, and that is also, making her damage look so much higher. Even if you're thinking, oh, 165 base power move, 50% multiplier, that's not that crazy, right? Well, she's got a master passive, a circle, and a shitload of physical moves next. So in that aspect, she does look quite good. Or can look quite good on paper. Depends on your team, of course, right? Sync Burst 1, very good node. This does give you extra usage of Booster Energy and Sunny Day. Actually, Sync Burst. Yeah, this does give her extra usage of all of her abilities. Kind of makes Trainer Move NPR useless in my opinion, because at that point, you already have max speed and attack, so who cares? But it does give you another usage of Sunny Day, right? That means you got more time having the circle activated, because every time you use Sunny Day, you will also activate the Paldea circle. You will also get more physical moves next. That is, of course, the best aspect of this. Getting that Sunny Day NPR could be really, really strong. And combined with that, you also have the ally set Weather Terrain Zone, physical boost 1/9. Increasing physical moves next by 1 when activating a Weather Trainer Zone, or when an ally activates it, so it does not even have to be her. This is what I mean when I talk about the amazing potential of a Sygna Acerola Gita combination with Nemona. Because I remember gassing this up whenever I initially did my reaction to this kit, but these characters all put together can look really, really stupid. Acerola's got a ton of physical moves next. She buffs it by 1 every time she uses her buddy move. She's able to buff it by up to +2 every time Sunny Day is activated, because she does have Team Brawn gain on Sunny Day at 3 out of 5. She does get physical moves next as well upon using her sync move if you've got Green Thumb picked up. Ton of physical moves next, right? That's the point. She's got a lot of physical moves next and can give it to allies. She's got effectively the same passive as Nemona, where she increases the physical moves next of all allies by 1 when activating Weather Trainer Zone. Of course, Nemona only does it for herself, but this is what I mean, right? Every time her or an ally sets any Weather Terrain Zone effect, you will be getting that. So every time Nemona uses Sunny Day, not only is she getting the physical moves next from the passive of Ancient Scream, so +2 there, she also gets it from ally sets Weather Terrain Zone, this passive here, you get another +1, so +3 total. Acerola's also activates, and that's +4. So one usage of Sunny Day with Nemona, actually one usage of Sunny Day with either Nemona or Acerola will give Nemona +4 physical moves next in that one turn. That is crazy. And again, you can use Sunny Day up to 3 times with Nemona if you pick up Sync Burst. Acerola has, I'm pretty sure, unlimited, NPR, right? She's got Sunny Day NPR, I think, if I can see it. Does she not have Sunny Day NPR? Hold on, I'm nuts. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. Still, 2 uses of Sunny Day. That's crazy. I really thought she had Sunny Day NPR. I'm nuts. I'm fucking losing it, man. Whatever. She's got 2 uses of Sunny Day, so that's already +5, 5 uses of Sunny Day, and that's going to be really good. And not only that, partner her with Gita, who is applying her own Paldea Master passive, her own defense debuffs when using her buddy move, as well as again applying Paldea to Nemona's circle. She is also setting she's also setting Poison Zone upon the 2 uses of her buddy move and the usage of her sync move, being a field character, and on entry, right? So anytime Gita sets Poison Zone, that is another +2 physical moves next for Nemona, because it would activate from both Acerola and Nemona's passive. If you've got those 2 characters, pair them with Nemona, see how it works. Trust me, the showcase will be happening. Don't worry about that. But that's kind of, I know I took a while to explain that, and I probably didn't need to. I think people can kind of infer that, but I really want to try that out now at this point. I really like that idea. The point is, Nemona's got a ton of partners. She got a good maximum setup, that can buff a ton of physical moves next for her. But even outside of that, you can bring her with any other Weather Terrain Zone setter that's going to be potentially buffing her or be a good fit on the team, and Nemona will be benefiting from it. Volo, setting Fairy Zone, a direct power up to Nemona. He sets it 2 times, right? He sets it upon using his buddy move, and he sets it upon using the sync move, right, being a field character. So there's extra, more physical moves next for Nemona, and you get that 50% buff from Fairy Zone. Same thing with other Fairy Zone setters, like Sygna Suit Wally or Sygna Suit Mina or whatever, right? All those characters combined with Nemona, are going to be looking good. The Fairy Sunsetter specifically, but also that any Sunsetter as well could look very good. Mixed Blue, Sygna Morty is a support who actually does have Sunny Day NPR. I know that. I will not fact check it because I know it's true. I'm not going to get gaslit again. So any Sun or Fairy Sunsetter specifically is going to look good for Nemona, but any character that can kind of pair up with her synergistically and also apply Weather Train Zone effect is going to look really, really good, or make Nemona look a lot better. Anyway, she's got Haymaker and Paldea Circle physical sync moves up 9. So a 90% multiplier when having the Paldea Circle active, and 100% multiplier with max attack. 190% multipliers for a striker. This is about the standard for a Master Fair, I would say. It's still very good. It's very easy to activate because she maxes her attack. She sets Circle extremely easily. That's a very easy sync nuke to activate. On top of having the defensive debuffs too, and the Paldea Circle is a direct power, directly powering up her sync move as well. Pretty good sync move, right? Pretty good. And then on top, other than that, she's got Infliction Freebie 9. Infliction Freebie, more physical moves next. Not physical moves next, free moves next, right? This gives her free moves next, again, helping her even more with that gauge efficiency. They've got a ton of tools in Nemona's kit to make her more gauge efficient, which I guess is, again, mostly tailored towards probably the Legendary Gauntlet, or those setups where her gauge really might be a problem because, 4-gauge move user could be bad. I don't think her speed stat's that bad, and of course managing gauge doesn't tend to be that bad when you're at higher level play anyway, but if you're trying to really budget teams, having these gauge management abilities can be good, on top of having healing and whatever else, right? So that's Nemona at 3 out of 5. This is a very good kit. I think Nemona at 1 out of 5 obviously does have her good damage potential, utility, whatever, but of course her 3 out of 5 enhances that pretty much to the max, which is the point of sync grids for the most part. Especially with strikers, I would say for the most part, they just go from where they are and just kind of get better at it. There's a lot of kits where they do completely different things depending on if they are 1 out of 5 to 3 out of 5. Nemona, alongside probably most strikers, is not really like that. She just gets better. Her damage just gets a lot better. And whether that's worth the investment or not is pretty much up to you, I would say, if you want to really have a good damage-dealing character that can kind of clear, average tier content just fine, or if you want to maximize her potential, be able to potentially, beat up higher ranked content, high tiered content rather, with a lot of effort, effortlessly, right? It really just depends upon what you want, I would say, at that point. I'm going to be investing Nemona at 1 out of 5 and doing a 1 out of 5 showcase, and then I will be doing a 3 out of 5 showcase as well, just to kind of look at the difference between what her damage looks like between that. So be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow's Sunday, thankfully, so I do have time to actually record that, get it out at a reasonable time. Good lord. As for what grid I would build, I would definitely build... This is probably the worst thing that I think is about Nemona, is that her grid is so bad. It's not bad, it's just there's a lot that is really good in it. Like, if you were to try to pick up everything you would want, hello, not gonna happen. Personally, you could definitely build towards the Sync Nuke, but if I were to gonna be using Nemona, I would honestly probably build Gita's Sync Nuke instead, because it's a pretty decent Sync Nuke. And then if I'm gonna be using her with Acerola and Gita, right? And then I would build Nemona for DPS, which could go Sync Burst, but granted you have to sync for that. But if you are investing in the Sprint scroll, then it's still worth syncing with Nemona anyway. I don't know, I really like this setup, frankly. But of course, there's a whole lot of grid energy issues there. Charging Sun, I think, is really going to look amazing for her damage potential. I do think it's worth picking up. So at the end of the day, you might just have to sacrifice Haymaker, or I wouldn't sacrifice Haymaker. I would sacrifice the Paldea Circle and probably a Sync node and just go with this. This is probably the best you're going to get for the grid. I think Sync Burst could be too valuable with Sunny Day NPR, honestly. Or lack of Sunny Day NPR. Having another usage of that really can help Nemona out. Again, with those characters who buff physical moves next for all allies whenever an ally sets a Weather Terrain zone. So having that extra use of Sunny Day could be very good. And even if you don't want that, you still have to go pretty much for one with the sun here. I mean, and then otherwise, like, I don't know. It's just, you end up having to go for Charging Sun anyway, so at this point, just go for Sunny Day and Speeding Sun. But hey, you just build the grid however you want. Just have fun, I guess. You could also just go for this if you really don't care for Sync Burst, and you could just give her a little bit more on the sync damage. I don't think picking up the Paldea Circle sync move, I don't think you're going to pick up this tile pretty much ever. But you could, of course, if you're going to really just try to max her sync nuke. Like, if you want to clear a stage quickly or whatever, you could pick it up relatively effortlessly. Just +4 energy investment. It's not that bad. It could be worse. It could be infinitely worse. You can't even pick it up like that. That sucks. Oh well. still, whatever. Plus 4 energy. Pick this up if you want to really maximize the Sync Nuke, I guess. And then otherwise, I mean, you've of course got gauge efficient abilities and healing abilities and whatnot. Good for the Legendary Gauntlet, but of course that's going to probably depend stage to stage on what you really want to pick up. I don't know. There's a lot of... I don't know really how you would work around that in the Gauntlet. I'm very curious to see what Nemona can do there. We'll see, but whatever. That's my review for Nemona. A little all over the place, but I'm going to be, of course, putting out showcases, so if anything kind of went over your head, then just wait for the showcase. I'll try and do my best to put it into video form, of course. And there will be, of course, probably showcases uploaded by other creators, so enjoy those as well. Not half anniversary. Run up to the anniversary is here, or is upon us, so let's enjoy it while we can. Have a fruitful battle, or whatever she says, so sure. I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed. Good luck on your summons, good luck on your skipping, and good luck on getting who you want for the anniversary. And yeah, I'll see you all later.